Okay, we're here. WWDC 2023 just wrapped up. One of the craziest Apple events ever. The Vision, that's out. The headset, that's out. iOS 17, watchOS 10's big update. Mac Pro came out today. New Mac Studio Mac. Let's start off in order of what Apple announced. We started off getting the new 15-inch MacBook Air. This is literally the exact same as the 13-inch, same colors, everything to the T. It's going to have a bigger 15-inch screen, same M2 chip, and obviously better battery life because it's a bigger computer. Next step, they go right into Mac Studio, giving it the M2 Max and M2 Ultra chips with basically the same design but updated Bluetooth and Wi-Fi on the inside, and the M2 Ultra being two M2 Maxes combined together for the best performance in a Mac. But then they're like, we've got another Mac, and that was the Mac Pro. You know, the computer we've been waiting to see updated, what Apple's been working on for years at this point, and it turns out it is the same design but with an M2 Ultra chip on the inside. Yes, the same chip that they just announced in the Mac Studio is also in the Mac Pro, and I don't know what the Mac Pro really is. They've added more USB-C Thunderbolt ports on the back, and the connectivity is objectively better. And there are certain PCIe slots for different hardware on the inside, but they didn't talk about graphics cards. They didn't talk about really any key expanded features for the Mac Pro, and I'm honestly kind of confused right now. But it also is more expensive. It starts at $7,000 now for the Mac Pro. It was $6,000 for the Intel version, which is that's weird to me. Okay, after that we jumped into software. iOS 17 was first up here with a number of new experiences that Apple detailed, including some big updates to messages, where I want to start. The interface is a bit cleaner with the app drawer being put to the side now. You've got the ability to inline reply to messages, and stickers got a huge facelift with being able to cut out live photos of people animating and put them directly onto messages. There's this new check-in feature where you can basically set your route home and it'll notify the person when you make it home safe, like mom, dad, or kid. That's really cool, and I think that's really going to be used a lot. And then the keyboard got big upgrades to predictive text, to text-to-speech. Apple says they've made big upgrades here, and this is system-wide, not just in messages, but as you're using this mainly in messages, it should make texting just work more consistent because the voice messages are always a little hit or miss. Next up in iOS 17, Apple announced that you can do custom contact cards, kind of like mini lock screens for people depending on who it is that's calling. These are going to look pretty fresh and are completely customizable per person. Apple's also added the ability to airdrop your contact info to people instead of like typing in your number manually. So if you're at a bar and you're like, hey, yo, what up? You can be like, yo, let me name drop my contact to you. I'm going to be trying this. I'm going to see if it ups my success rate maybe. Next up in FaceTime, they have given you the ability to leave messages. I've wanted this for so long. Now when somebody goes to you on FaceTime, you can leave a video message that the person can play back, which is, I'm going to love that one. Next up is Standby, which is when you hold your iPhone horizontally, you're going to be able to see a new look and UI here, kind of like an alarm clock. This is only on the iPhone and not actually on the iPad, where I think it would make more sense, but it's an interesting approach, and at the very least, it is beautiful, albeit I do not know how personally useful this will be. And then there's the Journal app where you can talk about your experiences, your photos, how you're feeling. This ties into the Health app as well for checking your well-being. Of course, we're going hands-on with iOS 17 later today, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on that video because I'm going to talk about all the new stuff that is happening. Next, for iPadOS 17, we got the lock screen upgrades from last year's iOS 16. Now on the iPad with some cool customization specifically for these, with a different widget look and layout that you have on the larger screens. You also have widgets on the home screen that are interactable without going into them. So live widgets are in iOS, it's just only for the iPad and iPadOS 17. They've made some big upgrades to PDF, making it more in line with the Mac, so you can customize fields and fill out documents way more efficient than you could prior. The Health app is finally on the iPad. This is going to be a big deal in clinical settings and sharing things with your doctor and for doctors to view your information. This is a no-brainer. It should have been here a while ago, but glad to see it finally came. And of course, the other changes like FaceTime messages that we talked about in iOS 17, those are of course going to be in iPadOS 17 as well. After that, they went to macOS Sonoma. That is the new version of macOS 14, and this is probably one of the smallest updates we've ever gotten for the Mac. Apple really highlighted things like the beautiful new screensavers that you will be able to have on these. The widgets on the Mac Mac that are here now are interactable, very similar to the iPad, so you can drag them onto your desktop and use them, and they fade away into the background when you're looking at a window in the foreground. I think it's going to get things really cluttered, but that's just my hot take right off the bat. I'm definitely going to try it out and see if these are really useful. Next up, in Safari, Apple has added profiles here, so you can now have a school profile, work profile, personal one that'll have different tabs, different settings for each one, which is cool because Chrome's had that for a while, and it makes it a little bit easier to separate your work and your home life. And there's some other things as well, but like I said, macOS Sonoma, pretty small overall. Then there's watchOS 10, which is absolutely phenomenal. This is the update. This is the one I was most excited for, and it absolutely came through. It is a complete revamp of the entire operating system from start to finish. Starting off right away with watch faces, you now scroll down to see widgets and glanceable information in a whole new way. And while we thought that would be taking over the home screen, guys, the home screen is still here. It just looks a bit different. I think Apple's optimized the usability, but it's still that iconic Apple Watch honeycomb design that I was hoping would go away. It's still mostly here though. With watchOS 10 though, it's an entire UI update, so you're getting all of these nice blur effects throughout the operating system. It is way easier to use things like messages. They have just done a phenomenal job changing the interface. And almost every app on the Apple Watch has been redesigned, and it's now optimized for larger screens. So 45mm Apple Watches or Apple Watch Ultra at 49mm, the apps are going to look so much better. Again, I'm going to have a video very, very shortly on watchOS 10 walking through it because I need to experience this. So subscribe, drop a like for that in case you haven't already. And then we got the one more thing. We got Apple Reality Pro. This is official. Apple has talked all about it, what we can expect, and they even shared the pricing, which I need to start with, is $3,499, which is $500 more than the high end of what we thought this product was going to cost. And frankly, I don't really know what to say about this. Let's start off with what it looks like. It looks like a pair of ski goggles. It looks like it's made of aluminum and glass, and it's got 2 chips inside, and it's got a crazy looking headband with micro adjustments on it. And it also has an external battery pack to reduce weight. It sits on your waist. It's 2-hour battery life, and then you got to switch the battery pack. So then there's, when you put it on, what do you see? It's the new Apple Reality OS. This has been redesigned from the ground up with basically a honeycomb-like home screen similar to the Apple Watch, but in 3D, where you can see your apps, you can see what's up, and you can experience virtual and augmented reality with a big emphasis on augmented reality. Apple's shown off different use case scenarios like playing games on here with a PlayStation controller, but they really want you to just use your hands and your eyes to navigate. There is no controller that comes with this device in the box. You use your hands. And what they're describing is a way that you can just pinch and tap and swipe in an effortless way that I need to experience to believe, because that would be pretty crazy if they figured this out reliably. They've shown off scenarios like being able to watch movies in completely virtual environments or do a giant, big a screen as you want in your own living room, and also FaceTime with different tiles. But they didn't show off the thing. Like, I remember when I saw the Apple Watch, I was like, this is it, man. Well, you saw the iPad, iPhone, AirPods, I was like, yes, but there wasn't that thing where I was like, whoa. I mean, maybe the closest to that was the 3D photos, where you'll be able to relive moments captured with the 3D camera array on this headset. And in the future, you can go back and feel like you're literally watching that moment happen again. That was the one that I could see being a thing, but you have to wear that to experience the moment. And it's like, do you really want to watch your daughter's birthday party with the headset on? I have so many questions, and I want to try it out because it's one thing to talk about VR and AR. I need to experience this. This is something that you cannot see through video. And I mean, the software looks pretty solid. They showed a lot of like virtual desktop stuff, which has never really appealed to me. The gaming, if there's serious games that come here, will be really cool. I'm a little stunned by the price. I'm not gonna lie. $3,500 first gen product is that's a lot. Guys, this is WWDC 2023. I have so much more content coming. I am so excited to see you guys in person. For those of you at Genius Bar Goes Dark, June 6th, San Francisco, get your tickets down below. I've been Sam. What an event. I mean, definitely the biggest Apple event in a long time. There's so many I have so many questions. I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. I love you guys. Thank you for watching. I'll talk to you in the next one. Peace.